Houston, we have a problem.
Give me all you got!
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
Give me back my gun! I didn't kill my wife! I don't care!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Stand and Watch, the best and only dad movie podcast you're ever going to listen to, because we killed all the other ones.
Some more popped up between the season 2 and season 3 break. So we had to take the break to go fly out and kill these new motherfuckers that popped up. But we're back. We're
Well,
back.
They certainly tried to pop up. They certainly tried.
They tried.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. They tried to pop up from the puddles that we were holding their heads down in, but we held them down and they stopped breathing.
They
and
thought-
then they were dead.
They thought, hey, season break, we can get in. No, you can't. No, you can't.
No.
That is
It's
why
Is this
It's the Undertaker
plot to the
meme.
new Jason Statham movie, The Podcaster?
Jason Statham is the podcaster.
Okay. So here's what he does. He's a podcaster that lives in an old lady's shed, right? Right. And his podcast is about protecting podcast listeners. And the old lady was like his only listener, right?
Right.
And then so she gets scammed by like a Joe Rogan-esque podcast.
Hmm.
And she calls into the Joe Rogan podcast and gets tricked into giving away millions to Joe Rogan. He tricks her into signing up for his Patreon, and she's kerfuffle. She's in a kerfuffle. She's like, "That was the only money I've got. What am I gonna do?" We flip to the next scene. She's killed herself, right? And Statham comes in and he's like, "My God, what has happened? I can't do a Statham. I can't do it." Matt, can you do it? Can you do it? Him walking into his one podcast listener being dead.
What do you want him to say?
Trying to think of a good line right here, like, if you're not listening, I am. Or I'll be your listener, or something.
You just do a better Statham. I don't have it in me.
Oi, looks like no one's listening anymore.
Perfect. And he goes on a rampage, killing all the bad podcasts, all the grifting podcasters. He ties Joe Rogan to a truck and drives it off a bridge.
Oh, what would one of his podcast related one-liners be?
The Shure mic. He'd make a reference to like a Shure microphone. Like, are you sure? He's like, no, I'm sure MV7.
Then he smacks the guy with it.
Beats him to death with a Shure microphone.
Oh,
One of the greatest choreographed fight scenes ever, right? He's just using the Shure microphone as a weapon. As a shuriken, maybe?
ooh, I like that.
Mm.
Of course,
There's
there's
a
got to be
podcast.
there's
Go ahead.
obviously got to be where he's beating everybody up. Who are you? Who am I? I'm the podcaster.
There's a point where he's beating up like a young amateur podcaster who's using like a Yeti. He's like, "Are you getting my point, Yeti? Am I coming across clearly? Do you have a snowball's chance of understanding?" Because a snowball's another microphone. just microphone puns the entire time.
That's how this film gets produced. It's actually all these microphone companies, right? That
At what point does he throw a sponsorship into one of his beatings?
Like this ass whooping brought to you by BetterHelp.
You've just been manscaped.
Hello Fresh, you're dead.
Oh, this is good. I like it. I like that we're just gonna have Jason Statham kill a bunch of Manosphere dudes. There's a movie. There's your movie.
there's a move.
You know what? It's an overpopulated population. We need to chop them down.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway. Hello, all you standees, and of course, Steve Buscemi, our number one
Welcome
listener.
back, Steve.
Yes.
Welcome back.
As always, I'm your host, Matt,
I'm Nick.
and as you may have noticed, we have a third voice joining us. He's more than a voice to us, but he's just a voice to you. We are joined by Jacob Price from the Pre-Order Bonus Podcast. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jacob from the Pre-Order Bonus Podcast.
Yeah, Jacob is he's a professor. He's the Pixel Professor, And that's not just a nickname. He's honest to God professor. So we got a real smart cookie on the show this week.
So I can say some really obnoxious and abstract facts about something for 2 hours at a time. That's pretty much what any professor's super skill is if you need me to lecture, I actually told my students this, I'm teaching a term right now, it was first day class, I was like, folks, this is a discussion-based class, but if you want me to lecture for 2 hours, I am more than able to do so on a bunch of topics that you are not interested in.
Can you lecture on the movie Independence Day?
Well, funny you should ask. I don't
You
know.
didn't tell me we were getting another academic, by the way. It's an honor. It's an honor, sir.
Did you just refer to yourself as an academic?
I work with academics.
It's the same thing.
I'm in the same building.
I'm in the same building. It's
I'm
like
the janitor.
it's like gaming bloggers who say, "Yeah, I work in the video game industry."
They're all bloggers at this point, right? I say that as a fellow blogger.
Yeah. I mean, if they're not bloggers, they're about to be.
This episode is going to be sold. that news is going to be sold by the time this comes out anyway.
You know what? What better way for the nation the nation of America, I should say, not my nation, to celebrate their Independence Day than by some other games media outlet being fired?
By the time this comes out, 5 more might have been bought up and shuttered. So you know what? This might be a timely episode.
Yeah.
It's evergreen, man. This
it's-
just keeps happening anyway.
Yes, it's an evergreen problem. We're recording this in May. Little inside baseball for you folks. We prepared well in advance. And it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen again. They're gonna be like, "Oh, they're talking about this." No, we're talking about Polygon.
Remember them?
What is Statham's production cycle like? Is he a 5 weeks ahead episode kind of guy?
Probably. He seems very, very professional, straight shooter kind of guy. We're gonna get it done.
He looks at his schedule. He's like, I can kill all these men. I'm 5 weeks ahead. We can take the week off.
Who am I? I'm the planner.
Wedding Planner remake. There it is.
Put him in all those. Jesus, just do it. I'm
Well,
okay with it.
Well, on
Statham's the only one with a job in America anymore.
on Jacob's streams, on his Twitch streams, we've already made that he's going to be a wedding photographer in one of his
Yeah.
movies.
Yep.
Why not
Just-
the wedding planner?
Have
Dude, why not?
a wedding trilogy.
Ooh, yeah.
The
He starts
wedding
his own
photographer to the wedding planner, and then the wedding
Wedding bride.
officiator.
Wedding bride.
Wedding
He
bride.
goes deep undercover. Freeze.
Gets to the honeymoon, pulls off his mask, Mission Impossible style. Who am I? I'm the wedding bride.
And you find out every movie was him building up to getting this groom because he betrayed him. He stole his bride, his first bride at his first wedding, and he's been working to try and get revenge on this man.
Oh, we should get
Who
Jason
plays
Statham
the
on the
enemy?
show at this point.
Sean William Scott. We'll make Sean William Scott the big bad guy in that one.
I can dig
like
it.
a culmination of a trilogy, right? Nice.
I can dig it. Who's the bad guy in the wedding photographer?
It is a bitchy. It is Sean William Scott's mom who is wearing white at this bride's wedding.
Ooh.
Okay,
Who's
who's
wearing
the,
white at the bride's? You're not the bride.
who's the big bad of the wedding planner?
Ooh, it's the person. It's the person in charge of it's the person who owns the venue who's trying to upcharge the wedding party.
Like an events coordinator, maybe? Or
Yeah. I was at a wedding where the owner of the vineyard, or we were at a barn. Let's not church it up. It was a barn. They were like nickel and diming this wedding party for everything. And I think Statham could really take them to task.
yeah.
He shoots them dead. Put it on my tab.
Oh, Lord. Jason Statham. Jason Statham, please come on the show. We
Get
have,
him and Steve on the same episode.
we have scripts to pitch. Steve can be the bad guy in one of the movies.
That would be awesome.
That would
Oh,
be
that would
so
be awesome.
good. That'd be so good. Oh. But we're not here to talk about Jason Statham. We're here to talk about Will Smith.
Welcome to Earth.
Welcome
We're
to
here.
Earth. What the hell is that smell?
Didn't realize this movie was 30 years old already. Watching this made me feel old.
Did it?
It's Independence Day, in case you were wondering what the movie was.
They should know. It's the title of the episode.
They should. I like to say it for folks that don't read I never read the title of the episode. I don't.
You literally have to look at it to even click on it to click play. Like you
But
physically,
I'm a creature.
you physically
creature of
can't.
habit.
You physically can't click play without looking at it.
The shows I listen to, the title almost has nothing to do with what I'm like. What it's about.
Then you need
The
to
title
listen to
usually
better
is like something
shows.
stupid that the host said, or the host or the guest or somebody. So
You need to stop
I just-
listening
I
to
click.
Johnny's podcast then.
You're right. It's putting these bad ideas in my head. It's recommending this literature that I don't think I should be reading. I've got the Wikipedia up for this. Let me read this opening section here. It's a big one. Independence Day, also promoted as ID4. Never heard anyone call it that, by the way.
What?
Yeah, you know what? I've seen that before, and I've always been confused by it. I'm like, what is this? They
No
made a
one's-
fourth one?
No one's ever called it ID4, just like no one's ever called Live, Die, Repeat Edge of Tomorrow. People are just like, it's Live, Die, Repeat.
I
It's
called
a
it. I
document.
called it Edge of Tomorrow when I bought my tickets to see it in the theaters.
That movie just has an identity crisis. But Independence Day, also promoted as ID4, is a 1996 American science fiction action film directed by Roland Emmerich, written by Emmerich and the film's producer Dean Devlin. Film stars an ensemble cast of Will Smith, Bill Pullman, Jeff Goldblum, Mary McDonnell, Jude Hirsch, Margaret Collin, Randy Quaid, Robert Lagoya, Vivica A. Fox, James Rebhorn, and Harvey Fierstein. Fucking ensemble cast, am I right?
Yeah.
The film follows disparate groups of people who converge in the Nevada desert in the aftermath of a worldwide attack by a powerful extraterrestrial race. With the other people of the world, they launch a counterattack on July 4th, Independence Day in the U.S. Conceived by Emmerich while promoting Stargate, film aimed to depict a large-scale alien invasion, departing from typical portrayals of extraterrestrial visits. Filming began July 1995 and was completed in October that year. Upon its release, it was considered a pivotal moment for the Hollywood blockbuster, leading to the resurgence of disaster and science fiction films in the late 90s. The film received generally positive reviews from critics, with praise for the cast performance, musical score, visual effects, but criticisms for its character development. It emerged as a major commercial success at the box office, grossing $817.4 million worldwide on a production budget of $75 million, not adjusted for inflation.
They made this
became
in
the highest-
$75 million.
Dude, that's
It
wild.
became the highest
Oh my
grossing film of
God.
the year, second highest grossing film ever at the time, behind Jurassic Park. The film won the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects and was nominated for Best Sound. A sequel, Independence Day Resurgence, was released 20 years later on June 24th, 2016. As part of a planned series of films the same year, Independence Day, a mockbuster of the 96 film, was released. I don't think they're going to finish that trilogy.
No.
I don't think they're going
to
to finish that series.
$75 million.
What is that? Hold on. What does that adjust to? That doesn't give us the full picture.
When did you say they filmed this? 95?
95.
95, 2025. About 160 million. That's still pretty good.
That's not bad considering what 160 million gets you today.
160 million today gets you none of the actors were on set at the same time, and the CGI looks like a PlayStation 2 game.
It was just
Alright.
like this movie.
It grossed over 817.4 million. How much is that adjusted for inflation?
817 million, you said?
Yeah.
817. Sorry, it's never been harder to Google inflation because it's all news now.
It's never been harder to Google.
Let's calculate it for right now. No data available for the month. I got to take it back to March. Calculate.
That's
Use value less than 10 million. I'm sorry. What calculator is this?
Here we go. I don't know if this is accurate, but according to this, it would be about 1.7 billion.
Dang.
Good numbers.
Yeah.
Good numbers.
Good math at the top of the show, eh?
Yeah.
Hold on. I want to see what Resurgence made just to giggle.
Oh no.
So they made the budget of Resurgence 165 million.
Okay.
Box office 389.7 million.
Okay. Not great.
They thought that movie was going to be like the greatest thing ever.
No. Why? I don't understand why they would do it.
Like, I don't know who was sitting around saying we need another Independence Day.
A Bill Pullman fan.
Is he in this? He's dead. Will Smith's dead in that one, right?
Yeah,
okay, so
they
here's
kill him off screen, I think, because he didn't want to come back.
what was he doing in 26? He wasn't doing it. He did After Earth around that time. He had nothing else going on.
I think he was just
I
like
think he-
Independence Day 2? That's a bad idea. I'm out.
Well, he was smart. He was right. He made a good call.
Yeah.
But what else was he doing? This cast has Liam Hemsworth, Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman, so he's alive. Is he on his like 5th term? Did he like have a hard right turn? Maika Monroe. I'm sorry, Maika Monroe, Jesse T. Usher, Travis Tope, William Fichtner, Charlotte Gainsborough, Judd Hirsch, Brent Spiner, Stella Ward, Patrick. I'm going down this list. I don't know any of these people.
Well, they got a lot of the returning cast.
I'm really, I'm surprised Goldblum said yes, but this is probably around the same time he said yes to a Jurassic World sequel, where he showed up for like the last 10 minutes or the first
Yeah.
10 minutes. I forget. It's
I
a
don't
very
know.
forgettable Jurassic World movie.
Jeff Goldblum's in his I can do whatever I want era. I'll make a quick, easy buck. And he's
Yeah,
earned
he-
it. Good for Jeff Goldblum.
He's like, you want me
Oh.
to be the wizard in Oz? Okay.
Will Smith was let's see, Suicide Squad came out in 2016.
Okay.
You know what? All is forgiven. He put in one hell of a performance in that one.
Did he? Did he though?
Yeah. He gave us the line. He gave us the line.
The
He
only
basically in Suicide Squad, he was doing what he did in Independence, giving us the line that everybody quotes. That's what he did.
Yeah, but in Independence Day he did it in a good movie.
Oh wait, this is about the time that Concussion came out though too.
Oh,
God.
that was bad.
Oh no.
You tell them the truth. Oh man, I think that was a year of really bad accents, if I remember correctly.
That's also if that was the year of Concussion, that was the year that was the year Jada got all mad at the Academy for not nominating
was
Concussion.
This is Oscar So White year, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a busy year for Will Smith. He didn't have time for the sequel.
No.
He's going through a lot.
He was working on his South African accent.
He was probably doing some, wrist curls to get his slap, form going. He was ready.
He could hear Chris Rock in his head. He doesn't know why. He's just like, something tells me I need to be ready for that man.
He had a vision in the night and was like, this is gonna come true. I can feel it. I must prepare.
Oh, James Woods. James Woods wrote the screenplay for Independence Day Resurgence, or one of the people who wrote it. Is this the same? No, it's a different James Woods.
Oh,
It's a Canadian James Woods.
that's an unfortunate name. He should change it.
Oh, look, yeah. The first thing that pops up on his Wikipedia for other people named James Woods, see the disambiguation page.
Oh, no.
I have James Woods. Oh, yeah. Don't watch the sequel. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, is the sequel ever gonna go on a wheel? I hope not.
No, hell no.
Good.
No. The only good thing about the sequel, it's 2 hours flat.
This is what, 2 hours 25 minutes?
A little long, but it doesn't feel like it.
No, this movie's good. Let's before we get into this very good movie, let's bring up our dad approved letterbox reviews.
Yeah, I've got mine right here. This is from, and you said I could do this one. We had the same one, but then I put it up first. So eat shit. This is from Riley Johnson, who is a patron. Good on you, Mr. or Mrs. Moneybags. I can't tell from your thumbnail. They gave it 5 stars and a heart and said a great classic 90s movie that combines everything I love: action, comedy, sci-fi, and Jeff Goldblum.
Ooh.
He was a box office get back in the day, right?
He was. Who doesn't love Jeff Goldblum? All right.
Yeah, he's always a box office get, right?
I got
He's not even Goldbluming in this one. I was sitting there paying like attention to see if he was going to do the Goldbloomy thing that he does, especially in Jurassic Park. Doesn't really do it in this one.
He does it a little bit.
With his dad. Any scene with his dad, he's doing. No, you know what? I take that back. He's doing it with Will Smith.
Yeah, he does
When
it a
they're
little.
flying.
He does it a little bit at the beginning when he's like complaining to the guy about recycling.
Yeah.
That's
but
right.
Yeah, but he's not doing it as much as he usually does it. And I got mine here. This review comes to us from Casey, who is a patron. Good for you, Casey. Moneybags. They gave it 4 stars and wrote, "The shot of Boomer the dog leaping away from the explosion is one of the definitive images in cinematic history."
You you literally sent me that scene right as it happened on my TV. So I had it going twice.
Oh, that's
I was like,
beautiful.
this is cinema.
Yeah, I agree. We agree with you, Casey. We agree with you. Jacob, do you have a review for us?
I do. So this is from Letterboxd. This is from Liam Nugent. 3 stars and a heart. When Jeff Goldblum is drunk and says, "I'm listening to his dad," it made me really sad.
That scene that is like one of the hard. That's when he's like smashing stuff up in the lab, right?
Yeah.
Goldblum is. Yeah. As a dad, it was tugging at my heart a little bit.
Yeah, that one felt really dad coded. Obviously it mentions his dad, but there's a lot of sad dad happening in that moment.
I was very sad. Oof, man. Between that and the first lady dying, like, because those scenes are back to back. I was like, man, this movie's really rough. Why am I crying? It's Independence Day.
You don't tear up during his speech?
His speech is more of like let's go fucking kick some ass. Yeah, let's fucking go.
I know, but it's so beautiful. I tear up. I also tear up when the dog jumps away from the explosion because, you're witnessing cinematic history.
Every time I saw that dog after, I giggled to myself.
What a name for that dog. Boomer, of all names for that dog.
Boomer is such a good name for a dog. It's such a good movie dog name.
I had a college football coach named Boomer. Kind of hilarious. He was our offensive line coach. It was kind of funny. Scary dude. I tore my ACL at one point, and I'm on the ground rallying and like just screaming in pain, and he flips me over and he's standing over me, just this big Shrek-looking motherfucker. Like, are you okay? And I thought it's kind of like The Nice Guys when Ryan Gosling sees who's that? The president in the pool. Not Reagan. Nixon. One of those moments.
Oh, all right. Let's get into our sandwich. As always, if you're new to the show, we like to do things. We like to call it the criticism sandwich because all dads love sandwiches. Let's be honest.
This is true.
We got
They're good.
yeah. We got a nice sandwich of our likes, our dislikes, and we close it off with more likes. It's a nice like sandwich. Some people say, why is the meat made of the dislikes? And to that we say, if the meat was the likes, then it would just be too negative. It'd be too negative of a sandwich.
Look, I still think we should make the Lightyear rules for anyone who's seen the movie Lightyear from 2019. They get so far into the future that sandwiches have reversed. So the outsides are meat, the inside is bread. And I think it's revolutionary. I think it's the one good thing that came out of that Lightyear movie. So I'll leave that on the table for everyone to discuss.
Okay, there you go. It's a reverse sandwich.
Let's start calling it the Lightyear sandwich session. No, this was going to be the first thing I wanted to say. The miniature work. Like,
Yes.
we've watched a lot of movies, some of the later movies on Son of Wheel. Just a lot of good miniature work. With the explosions, once you get to the timer ticking down and all the different buildings blowing up, the cars flying, and he's like, "Those are fucking Hot Wheels."
Yeah,
That building, that was a miniature building. They're blowing it all up, and it looks so good.
they just fling into the air. Like they're in such an unrealistic way. They just propulse themselves upwards, like directly upwards, like someone blasted them with air. It's very funny. But the actual explosions, like the cities being destroyed, just little tiny and they're clearly miniatures, but it's so good.
You don't even care just because it's done so well, and you don't see a lot of miniatures anymore. It just doesn't. It's not something you see much because everyone's just like, yeah, let's do
No.
CGI, whatever.
They make the explosion is done 8 months before the script is finished.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the everybody like the iconic blowing up the White House. Like that's an incredible miniature.
Oh yeah.
Just
Yeah.
the debris flying everywhere and incredible miniature work. That was also the first thing I put in my notes.
Yeah, dude, I agree. I remember watching this too as a kid. This was like the year of Will Smith because I think Men in Black came out like in Wild Wild West, right? I think they're all coming out about the same time. At least that's how I remember it. But I remember like
Yeah.
as a kid, explosion cool. Many explosion, very cool. I watched this recently, and I remember thinking they do a pretty good job of making the United States pretty defeated, right? Because like, dude, all of these cities just got absolutely annihilated, and it gets. I don't know. I really like how it made everything seem pretty hopeless, and that the United States was really clawing their way back, right? So yeah, I liked it thematically, kind of as a grown up watching this. Like, dude, the explosions are cool. They are beautiful. I agree. Like the miniature stuff, dude. I it kind of made me wish I'd see that more in movies now. But I don't know. I just like how it just like positioning the United States. Like, okay,
Yeah,
you're
like
screwed.
all their major and like you see the aftermath. It's like a nuke went off, and
Yeah,
there's like 10 people left alive in these cities. The streets are bare, like it's a barren wasteland except for the palm trees,
yeah,
which I'm
I also
sure.
love that it kills off basically half of its cast after that point.
Yeah, and
Like people that you're like I really like that Harvey Fierstein's in this. Like I always liked him in this Missed Out Fire role.
yes,
But yeah, this is Goldblum's coworker at the cable company, and he's calling his mom to get her to go to Atlanta. Which, in hindsight, terrible idea. Don't tell your mom to go to fucking Atlanta.
yeah,
But the aliens are gonna know that's our biggest airport. Don't do it. Get out of there. But yeah, he's sitting in New York traffic and he just gets blown to smithereens.
Yeah,
I was a little saddened by that.
he just goes, "Oh crap," and then boom, disintegrated. I like,
Yeah.
and Vivica A. Fox, her stripper coworker, is there too, because she's one of the crazy, like, I'm gonna bring my sign and we're gonna welcome the aliens, and she's just
Oh yeah.
she's just standing under like that big building when it gets blown to smithereens, and the
Yeah, it's Kirsten Warren. Yeah.
and the explosion just goes down each floor of the building.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. Makes no logistical sense because it should just blow through the whole thing, but it looks cool, so they did it that way, and I love that.
Yeah, dude. 10 out of 10 for style. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. The more old movies, the more we do this podcast, the more I'm being radicalized against new movies because
You're getting old. You're getting old.
I wasn't even alive when this movie came out, and by all accounts, it got like, I don't know, it made a lot of money. It got what, like pretty okay reviews. Like this wasn't even like a top-rated blockbuster, like even back then. But you compare this to some of the blockbusters we're getting now, and it's like, no, man, this is a real movie.
Oh wow, that Kirsten Warren, by the way, this was her first movie. I did not know that.
Oh wow, what else is she
Great
in?
start. There's a movie where she's like a witch. She's like the bad witch. It's like a high school movie. I'm trying to remember the name of it. She was in 13
The
going on 30,
Craft?
Intolerable. What is it called?
Is it The Craft?
I think it's is that her in The Craft or is that somebody else? I'm not seeing it on her Wikipedia page.
There's a group of
Maybe I'm
girls
getting
in
my
The
people
Craft.
mixed up.
Oh, she was on Desperate Housewives. You might be getting your people mixed up.
I tend. Wait, okay, I know who this is. She's in the Saved by the Bell the college years. She dated AC Slater in the college years seasons of Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
I knew her from somewhere.
Wow.
Okay.
What
Okay.
What a pull! What a pull!
Incredible. Anyway, what were you saying?
No, it was her first movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just looked it up too, by the way. So Will Smith did Bad Boys in 95, Independence Day in 96, Men in Black in 97.
Okay, yeah.
What a run.
Dude, yeah, what a run. Dude, he was everywhere, I remember. Yeah. I remember watching this as a kid and I was like, I thought Will Smith was the coolest guy ever.
I mean,
Like when he says welcome to Earth, I was like, dude, this guy gets it. This guy's
Yeah.
cool.
welcome to, and he follows it with a great one-liner too. Goes, "Welcome to Earth." That's what I call a close encounter.
Yeah.
Incredible. And what he's in the meeting and he's like, "Do you have something to add? Do you have something to add, Sergeant, or whatever?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, just I'm just anxious to go out there and kick ET's ass."
Yeah. Dude, there's just a lot of heart. I think like people really gave it their all with the script and what they're doing. Like maybe Independence Day doesn't go down in history as one of the greatest movies ever, but dude, I remember watching it growing up and then watching it recently. I was like, man, you cannot deny like there's some sort of sincerity going on here. Like
Yes.
people really bought in to everything about this movie and they really just gave 110% to it.
I think this is what's radicalizing me against new movies. You watch this movie and everybody's taking it completely seriously. and they're all their own characters, as opposed to everybody's making fun of their situation and quipping.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I bet if we watch Resurgence, I bet there's an asshole in that movie doing that.
Yeah, right. But like you watch this, and it's a big cast, but like all the characters are so distinct, like, and that's why they're memorable. Like Jeff Goldblum and Bill Pullman and Will Smith and Randy Quaid are and Vivica A. Fox. They're four completely different people. And this movie is kind of funny sometimes, but it's not. They're not all quipping. Like, yeah, Will Smith has the one-liners. Jeff Goldblum is Jeff Goldblum. Randy Quaid is a crazy man, and Bill Pullman's the president. Who, by the way, like I'm gonna believe America would elect a man that young, and it's just like they're all their own characters, and that's why it's memorable. It's not everybody getting their quips in. It's not let's all make everybody act like Spider-Man or Tony Stark or whatever.
This is back when like Will Smith has the one-liners. This is back when someone could drop a one-liner and they weren't doing it to sound smart or like be above the situation. This is him in the situation telling that alien like to eat shit.
Yeah, he has the one-liners, but it makes sense for his character. Like he when he's walking through the desert, he yells, "I could have been at a barbecue." It's like, yeah, like
He lost his vacation. He lost his whole fucking squadron. He watched his buddy fucking just get blown up by the two that are chasing him. I think the one that he punches out is one of the ones that kills him.
yeah, and when he goes to Area 51 and he's like, "Let me in," he's like, "Sorry, you don't have clearance." And he's like, "You want to see my clearance? Come here." And he just reveals the dead alien to the guy. And it's like, yeah, that's funny, and it's funny because yeah, that's what he would do. He's not like taking the piss out of the movie. Like nobody in this is taking the piss out of the movie. They're reacting the way the characters would react, and his character is the one who would be like, "Welcome to Earth."
Yeah, I miss pre-Hollywood before the Deadpoolification of everything.
Yeah, the Whedonification. Everybody's
Man, fuck that man.
everybody's got to get their quip in, and everybody's got to be smarter than the situation and be above it. Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, your name is Doctor Strange. That's a stupid name." Like, what are we doing here?
We're using our pretend names.
Yeah, like what are we doing here, right? Like, you have to buy into your characters have to buy into the premise, and the characters in this buy into the premise.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm gonna get a little maybe wax a little too academic here, so just shut me down if you need to. But I mean, a big part of this movie, right, is supposed to be like America is composed of a lot of different types of people, and when they come together from all these different backgrounds, being different people, like because you have that one scene right where it's Vivica A. Fox, the stripper, who's talking with like the first lady. Right, they're like having a conversation, and they're like, I think they're talking about like motherhood or something together in the room in the hospital as the first lady's dying. It's like let all these characters be different and let them all come together, and then that's where the unity comes from, and that's how they're able to overcome the aliens in the end, right? When they finally set aside their differences and they're like, you know what unites us is this need to kill all these aliens, right? So I mean, I really like that this movie is just like I almost kind of feel like they just pulled random characters out of a hat, and they're like, let's see how we can get all of these people in the same room at the same time. But it doesn't feel so corny because, like we're saying, because I think the actors like actually cared about like, okay, let's see how this works.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing that I think this movie does really well is I think it does a really good job of showing, because essentially the first half of the movie is this situation from all these different perspectives. You got your Jeff Goldblum plot line, you got your Will Smith plot line, you got all these different plot lines, and I think the movie does a really good job of organically getting them all together in a way that makes sense, and not in a way that's like, oh, well, they just had to, like, it's not in a way where you can see like the wheels turning of the writers going, well, we got to get them in a room. It's like it very naturally converges.
Yeah, it feels organic, and they do it quickly too, because you blink and everyone's at Area 51. I think it's right around the time the Mad Max Fury Road RV scene pops up, which I love, by the way. I love just all the RVs barreling towards Will Smith.
There's
It
a
looks
lot.
great.
There's a couple of like really fun cuts in this movie, and like there's that one when he approaches Randy Quaid. He's like, "You got to take me to this base," and he goes, "Well, it's not on a map. Trust me, it's there." An immediate cut to the convoy of RVs driving up to Area 51. There's another one near the beginning, um, when Bill Pullman is doing his address and he's giving his address to the nation. You know, be calm, don't panic, and he ends it with, "Please, if you're going to leave the cities, please do so in an orderly fashion." And it immediately cuts to Jeff Goldblum riding his bike in the the New York streets in complete disarray and panic.
Yeah.
His dad pulls the gun on him at that point, right? Because he's like, they're already looting.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
and it's such a funny cut.
I like that this movie's it's funny because you don't know Pullman's the president right away. Like he's watching TV, people are complaining about the president, and then they reveal that he's the president like in the next scene.
Yeah.
It's just like I forgot how much I love that they sit on that for a minute and just let you think this guy is like someone that's just watching the news. But nope, he's the fucking president.
All right. Do we want to get onto our dislikes, or is there anything else we want to talk about?
I think on the dislike side, I do think some characters that end up surviving like the climax of the film
Mhm.
kind of take a back seat. Like Vivica A. Fox kind of disappears and has nothing to do after the first lady dies.
Mhm.
Goldblum's ex-wife. I was confused. I didn't know what their situationship. It was a little weird to me. I don't know what was going on because I mean the president is single now, so she obviously has first dibs at the president if she wants him. They didn't fridge the wives, but they weren't really doing much at a certain point.
Yeah.
I thought that kind of tension that they kind of, I don't know if it's really successful, right? Where Jeff Goldblum's ex-wife, it's like, is she in love with the president? Maybe. President, meanwhile, is like totally oblivious. His wife is dying, and he's thinking about his daughter. Like, but there's just like that weird, like at the very end too, right? And then they silently decide, okay, that Jeff Goldblum and his ex are gonna get back together. It kind of felt like this. Well, everybody needs a happy ending after we've killed off a lot of people here, and there's been major destruction. So let's just make these people get together at the end. But yeah, that too, like, because he mentions a few times, I think, on the phone with her, he's like, but you're in love with him in your work, right? And I don't know. That to me was just, upon this rewatch, like recently, I was like, I don't know. Did we really need that? I think there's enough going on with all the characters in here that tension didn't really help at all.
Yeah, and I think there's this scene. I think it's in Area 51 when they're talking or arguing, and he goes, and that's when he goes, that's when you left me for him, and he's, I left you for my job. It's like, yeah, you left me to go work for him, and it's like,
Yeah.
and I think there is a decent plot. I think there is a decent thing in there in terms of like, okay, she's his ex, and they have some unresolved things, and she left him because I think one of the reasons it's kind of hinted at that she didn't think he had I don't know, ambition or whatever, and she had too much, and she wanted to go do this thing, and I think that's kind of interesting. But then they throw in then they do throw in well, maybe she's also in love with the president. And you're like, do you need that? This movie already has so much going on.
I mean, I don't know if you guys saw what I saw, but Pullman shaking Goldblum's hand at the end there. That man was brokering a three-way. Like he was art of the deal, baby.
The art of the deal.
Well, I don't, Goldblum. I don't think Goldblum would be against it. He is Goldblum.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the sequel, so you know what? He might be on his like fourth term, and they're all together. I don't know.
I was just gonna say, is there a polycule in the sequel or something that we don't know about?
He'd do his little Goldblum like fingers. Yes, sir. Well, various lubes and ointments. What kind of toy should we bring?
I need to go back and watch that deleted scene.
I'm just gonna say this. I think this is my major complaint, and this is a complaint many people have with this movie. But the computer virus resolution is it's so stupid. And I know this is a stupid movie, but there's a threshold of stupidity, and I think this crosses the line.
What? Okay, all right. What would you have him do, Mister? Okay, you're in the war room, Matt. You're in the war room fighting this alien race. You need answers. You need to give us these answers. What are you doing?
And
What?
somebody else in the room is sneezing a lot. Just, for context.
It's so dumb the way he just all of a sudden it's first of all, it's so out of the blue. It's not built up to it all. His dad just says you'll catch a cold, and he's like, that's it. I'll give them.
I agree with that
I'll
part.
give them a
that it, like-
computer virus, and then
Uh-huh.
completely off screen, he figures it out, and he just comes in immediately and be like, "Watch this! I've developed a computer virus that will destroy their systems." And it's like, I don't know, man. Why are the aliens running Windows 98?
I mean,
The,
Windows does have its fair share of problems, right? I mean,
Right,
he
I
just
like- I guess my problem isn't so much his solution is we'll give them a computer virus to ruin their defenses. My problem is the way they do it is so hackneyed.
What, you didn't like him opening the command prompt, typing something in, and then virus downloading just the little bot? You didn't like all that?
Like, we don't see him figure it out at all. It's just like his dad says, as a Jewish father, as a Jewish parent does, you'll catch a cold, put on a jacket or whatever. He goes, I've got it. And then we don't see him figuring it out at all. He just immediately comes in the next scene, check this out. And he pushes his little button.
The demonstration is really dumb. Like, hey, you, sir, with the pistol, shoot that apple. Bullet hits off the shield, bounces around the room, might clip somebody if we're lucky.
Yeah.
And he hits the button. He's like, now do it again.
And how did he get that Coke can on there in the first place? Does the shield not work for just your arm?
Oh, yeah.
Sci-fi he's organic. He's
I don't know.
made of carbon.
Yeah, it's just like I don't dislike the computer virus in principle or in I don't dislike the idea of it, but you got to give me more than just he figures it out and makes a computer virus off screen that solves everybody's problem.
What they don't tell you is that Jeff Goldblum's character is actually a Rockstar Studio employee who has suffered years and years of crunch. And so he's able to whip something up like really quickly to defeat the aliens. So that's how he does it. That's my headcanon anyway.
He's a
How dare you bring up that delay? How dare you? On this show, there'll probably be 10 more delays by the time this comes out.
He's a former Bethesda employee who's just collected all of the bugs, and he's just going to release them all at once.
He
He's
was a single QA tester for Morrowind, and so that's how he's able to figure out the right bug to kill the alien ship.
He was part of the cleanup crew for Cyberpunk 2077, and he's the one that got the game working. He was there. He was there during the worst of it, like when the game got pulled off of PlayStation stores. He's like, "Oh my god, we have to mitigate this disaster."
It wasn't.
And he didn't see his family for months.
It wasn't.
Months.
It wasn't a computer virus. It was just a pre-alpha build of the video game Gollum.
Yeah.
Oh man, when did Gollum? How old is that game now? It's been years. It's been 20 years. Jesus.
Okay. I mean, I agree though that I don't know, at the time I feel like nobody knew squat about computers, and so people were like, "Oh, okay, I guess you could program if they got a computer, you could program something that could destroy that computer." Like it's totally we're deep in the hackers or people who wear all black and they work in red light laser beam, lit rooms. Cranking away at a keyboard, never touching the mouse.
Type
right?
really fast. I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that. I don't know. Thinking about that now and after watching it, I was just like, okay, I guess beat him with technology. Sure. Whatever. I don't know. It kind of felt like a solution to me. I like the idea of the solution. I think I'm with Nick on this one, but I do agree with you, Matt, where it just kind of feels like, how can we try to come up with some sort of humans are actually really intelligent, even though we just got beaten to a pulp? How do we outwit the fox here? We have computers. They have maybe computers in their spaceships. That's how we beat them, right? So I see it, but I think I don't know. It just makes it tees it up for a really dramatic scene where they enter the ship and then they upload the virus. And I think that's kind of That's what I like about it the most.
Yeah, I mean, I do like all the third act. I'm just maybe I don't know, maybe have a team, maybe have more than just Jeff Goldblum figure it out in 10 seconds. You know,
Yeah.
in a movie about let's unify again, let's unify ourselves and we'll be stronger. Maybe have like the solution to the problem come from like a unified team of people as opposed to Jeff
Yeah.
Goldblum on a whim.
My God, it works.
Yeah,
My I have two, and they're not major, but like the Secretary of Defense stuff, as cool as it is to see a Secretary of Defense be taken care of in 2025, the pacing of it was just weird. Like shit's blowing up. The world is coming to an end. Like, yeah, your Secretary of Defense is a piece of shit, but like, I don't know. I was distracted by everything else going on that I wasn't really paying much attention to him, like being this typical government asshole. And then I don't know. I the first wife, I go back and forth on the first wife because she's just kind of there. And then they kill her. I was like, okay, she's gone. And then they bring her back. I was like, oh, what are we doing? Because I completely forgot that they kill her before they get into day 3. So I was just like the whiplash of like, she's here, she's gone, she's here, she's gone. And she does have that nice scene with Vivica A. Fox, but
Mhm.
she doesn't have much to do besides have that conversation with Vivica and then die.
yeah. I think a- as good as of a job that this movie does is bringing all the plot lines together, I do think some of the characters just don't get anything to do. Like Randy Quaid's like kids, or are they his
Yeah.
kids, or are they like adopted?
You know,
Yeah.
that was actually one of my dislikes. I was like, that situation is just like never explained.
Yeah, I'm like, are they
And
his kids? He calls them his kids, but I'm like, I don't think they're his kids. I think they're just
He's
like,
got a picture of him.
yeah, but
are they his stepkids?
yeah, I don't know, but like, yeah, they don't have that much to do, like at all. And like the long haired kid has a bit to do at the beginning, but like, there's two other ones, and like the smaller kid, like the youngest kid, really has nothing to do, and the girl doesn't
Yeah.
do anything at all. Like,
He almost gets her virginity taken by some
Yeah.
opportunistic asshole. It's like, hey, baby, you want to die a virgin?
I did think
Yeah.
I did think that scene was funny, but like, yeah, like that's all she has to do in this movie. So it's like, did we really need her then? You could just
Yeah,
have
what-
Randy Quaid on his own.
They disappeared completely once they get to Roswell,
Yeah,
or once they get to Area 51. Yeah.
yeah. Like you could just have Randy Quaid on his own as the conspiracy theory nut job who turns out to be right. Like you
Yeah.
could just have him by himself. You don't need these kids. You're not giving them anything to do anyway.
And I'm not sure that having the kids makes us more sympathetic towards Randy Quaid's character, because he just seems like, I mean, an alcoholic crop duster that is sometimes there for these kids that might be his, and I feel like they're trying to make you be like, oh, but he's like a single dad. Also, that's why his life is so hard. And it's like, I don't know. Yeah, the kids just are kind of, I don't know, tag along. They're just like taped to the back of that character, and I don't think that makes us really care more about that character. I mean, his best line is at the very end anyway. What's he
Yeah.
say, like, "Hello, boys, I'm back."
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah,
Great line.
and he
I'd say
sells
that's
that,
the number.
right?
That's either that'd be number 3 after the Welcome to Earth, and then Pullman's whole speech.
Yeah, Pullman's the whole speech is just quote number 2.
Do all the top bill folks does Goldblum have a line that people quote from this?
Does he?
He's
That's
the
a
only
good
one
question.
I can think of that doesn't have one.
I
could
think so.
Google the quotes. What's his character?
Like I love the chess conversation between him and his dad early in the movie, but there's nothing. I can't really think of anything. I mean, even his dad has like the conversation was, I haven't believed in God since your mother passed, or I haven't spoken to God since your mother passed, which I was like, that's a great fucking line.
Dude, and like I said earlier, dude, they really sell these lines. I feel like, like that
Yeah.
line in particular. Like I was like, dude, dang, that you're cutting deep, man. That's pretty emotional.
Yeah, because that's when Goldblum comes in all drunk and ready to give up, and his dad talks him off the brink, and then I think that whole conversation ends in a joke where the dad's like, "You're breathing." He's like, Goldblum's like, "What do I have?" He's like, "You're alive. You're breathing," but it almost comes off as a joke.
Yeah, I don't think Goldblum does
He's
have
trying to think of what he's got.
Goldblum does have some good lines in this, especially with Will Smith, but I don't think he has like a line like the others do.
I don't think so.
Yeah, like
Or Goldblum.
I'm looking at these quotes and there's some good like exchanges, but I don't think he has like a line.
Dude just never took off. Sad.
I mean, he says I don't know, do people quote must go faster, must go faster?
No. It's a good line. It's when they're escaping the mothership, right?
Yeah. A toast to the end of the world?
No.
Nah.
Yeah. Yeah, all these
Give it
other
up, Matt.
I'm just saying, like all these other quotes are him in conversation,
Shoot this apple. Or shoot this can.
right? But yeah,
I'm saying that all the time.
he has good like exchanges. Like there's one with Will Smith. Will Smith was like, "I ain't heard no fat lady," and Goldblum goes, "Forget the fat lady. You're obsessed with the fat lady. Drive us out of here."
When their window goes up on their ship, they say, "Hey, wave at the humans," or whatever. Is that him or is that Smith that says that?
That might have been him.
That's probably the closest we're gonna get, besides the conversations with his dad.
Yeah, that's fine. You can't give everybody a line.
I punched the president. All right, did he push the president or punch the president?
He punched the president. He goes, "You punched the president." He goes, "He wasn't the president yet."
That's a
Yeah.
good line.
It is
It's
a good line. It is a good line.
But it's not. It's not.
It's
a
not.
line.
It's not a line. Yeah, the way like
Fuck you guys. I quote it all the time.
he wasn't the president yet.
The guy who shot at Trump. You shot at the president? He wasn't the president yet. He was the former president. I shot at him when he was still the former.
Honestly, out of all the ones that have been brought up, I think he wasn't the president yet is the closest one to being a line that you could say.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, these days you probably could say a toast to the end of the world.
That gets played out. You could say that every 5 minutes.
Adam McKay writes that in all his movies. No, we're not doing it.
Yeah, but you couldn't say it all the time in 1996.
True. The 90s.
The
beautiful
90s, the 2000s, the first 3 years of the 2010s.
Man. What a time to be alive.
Yeah. Can we go back?
No, but we can go back to positives.
Yes, we can. Whoa,
Whoa!
Whoa.
incredible segue.
Let's go faster.
Let's go faster. Let's go faster. I really like the puppet work on the aliens.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, that's some solid puppet work. I think it holds up. I think do more puppet work in movies, people. Enough of this CGI slop. If you're not going to give your VFX people more than 2 weeks to make something, just use a puppet.
The scene of all the scientists getting torn to pieces by the alien.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
It's great.
It feels like it's from a different movie, but I still love it.
Yeah.
It actually kind of reminded me. Okay, so Matt knows about this, Nick and folks listening. So there's kind of this running joke in my family. I have kids, and I'm really bad at recommending movies for my kids. They tend to hate the movies that I recommend. And recently, I was banned from choosing movie for family movie night.
No.
And a memory just unlocked when I showed my kids Independence Day. And I had forgotten about the scene where the alien just absolutely destroys all the scientists. And my kids did not sleep for like 2 or 3 nights. And I was like, sorry, guys, I didn't remember this part. And because, Nick, what you said reminded me of this because it doesn't necessarily feel like it belongs tonally in the movie. Suddenly it's, a horror flick. But it did also make me think of like Spider-Man 2 when suddenly Doc Ock on the table, the arms just go wild. And it's like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They just start killing everybody.
Mhm.
I don't know if this is alike, but it is a memory unlocked. But anyway, yeah, I'm terrible at picking movies for my kids and I give them nightmares constantly. But that scene, watching it as an adult, I was like, ooh, this is interesting. Like they could have really taken this movie in one direction and they definitely made it PG-13 instead of R-rated. But that scene there with like the scientists getting just totally destroyed, I think it holds up actually really well as like a horror scene.
Yeah, it holds
I
up.
like horror scenes. I like horror scenes that show up in movies that aren't like horror movies, and I think it's something that's not done enough. And I understand why people don't do it,
but they should.
But I do wish people would do it more.
Right? Like that Doc Ock scene is incredible. That's like an 8-minute horror short film, just in the middle of Spider-Man 2. It's amazing.
That lady's scream is stuck in my head.
Yeah,
like,
well,
she's
yeah,
like
perfect.
the guttural scream.
Yes, Sam Raimi, horror master. But like this the puppet work on the alien is really great, and like the way the scientist, played by Data, just like slams against the glass like it's all foggy and like what the hell's going on? He just slams in the glass, the things around his throat. And I think
Yeah.
you need that horror scene too because it kind of like it really does like punctuate these aliens are dangerous. Like that conversation with the president's like and you're like, can we coexist? No. Like, what do you want us to do? Die.
It ups the stakes because they've already blown up just about all of the cities in the world. And so, like, if you don't have that scene, we're just kind of sitting on our hands waiting for someone to come up with a plan.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
gives us a look at and before that too is like, okay, we've seen the big mothership. We've seen the little spaceships. We haven't seen the aliens. There's no face to this enemy really until this scene. And then you're like, okay, this is the enemy. They were already dangerous. Now they're kind of terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, just like reading up stuff before we recorded, I saw somebody complain that like, dude, this movie takes too long to get to the aliens, and I just wholeheartedly disagree actually because of that type of pacing where the president is constantly holding out for some sort of like peaceful resolution, right? And the president is a war vet, right? I think he's in Desert Storm or something, right? Like he's a vet from that. But he's holding out for something peaceful. And this definitely goes back to the time in storytelling where we weren't super interested in like that morally gray area. It's like, nah, dude, these aliens are actually just bad. They actually just want to kill everybody. So it kind of makes it like a really easy like moral distinction, right? It's like, well, they are choosing violence against us. They literally want to kill everybody on this planet. We can choose to do nothing about it, or we can choose to fight back. And it's like one of those scenarios it's super easy for an audience to buy in with like, all right, I guess it's time to kill them because they're trying to kill us, right? And so not like getting too much in whether or not we agree with that ethically, but I think in terms of like movie storytelling, it's an awesome scene because it's like, okay, we're bought in now. We get the stakes. We get that the enemy's terrifying. We get that the enemy's super dangerous and bad. Like this is real definitive proof to the point where it's like atonal with the rest of the movie. I'm on board.
Yeah, and right after that, Bill Pullman's like, nuke the bastards.
Yeah.
And you're like, hell yeah.
And Goldblum's like, no, come on, no.
Yeah, because before that, the last 10 minutes, they were debating, no, we shouldn't nuke them because if we nuke them, nuclear fallout and it's going to destroy like the cities that they're on top of or whatever. And then you get to that scene where he destroys the alien, just massacres the scientists, is like, no peace. You're all going to die. We want you to all die. Nuke the bastards.
Yeah.
I was not to be an IMDb goof, but I was thinking about this and how they destroy the ship over Area 51 and it comes down. It has to come down because it's been destroyed. How are they getting out of Area 51? And then everyone else is destroying these ships as they're coming over their remaining major cities. Like, okay, so you're destroying it, but it's coming. I was just like, we're really fucked no matter what. We're screwed. Like, yeah, you stopped them from killing everybody, but in the process, you just flattened Denver. Congrats.
Well, I mean, they were only over the major cities though, right? And those were already destroyed.
The aliens are like, oh, that's St. Louis. We don't want to fuck with that. Go that way.
Yeah, I don't think any of the big ships positioned themselves over Missouri.
They're like, in our research, they call this a flyover state. I think we can just fly over this and be fine.
And nothing important happened. That's not an important hub.
They call it the gateway to the west. I think we have to use this gate.
Yeah.
They maybe fly through the arch and just it's cut into pieces.
Oh man, deleted scene right there, right? They're probably like,
Okay.
you know what, that's a Delta hub. We don't need to be there.
Is Bill Pullman
Louisville.
a top 5 movie president?
I think so.
Well, I don't know. I got to watch Resurgence and see how he is after his presidency.
Motherfucker. Yeah, he's in the. I'm telling you, in that movie, he is. He's made his hard right turn. The movie tries to do the typical, Disney villain thing and make the aliens the good guys. Like
Yeah.
it makes you understand why they're doing what they're doing.
Well, he had to
Out of
do a hard
necessity.
right turn because after the events of Independence Day, half the country was like, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. That was a deep state pedo operation. The president was in on it.
Right at the end of the movie, he's like, I'm going to run for a third term. And here we are 20 years later. He's 5 terms in.
You just know in that universe, someone's like, the Dirty Dems did nothing to stop the alien invasion.
Yeah.
Look, my cousin wasn't vaporized. He was a smoker. Cancer got him. It was
Okay.
big tobacco.
They are propagating this lie that the aliens destroyed all these cities. It was actually wokeness.
The conspiracy theorists go so crazy that they're like, there was no aliens don't exist. Like the government's lying to you, telling you about these aliens. Like we're just people. This was people. This was Al Qaeda. It was Al Qaeda.
This was the woke Canadian agenda.
Fucking Canada. They teamed up with Al Qaeda.
It's the fentanyl coyotes, man. That's who it was.
And you know what? The cartel came up from the south, giving them support from the south.
It was Greenland. It was always Greenland. It was Greenland this whole time. Oh my God. What does it say about our society that Randy Quaid is a pretty reasonable conspiracy nut in this movie?
I liked him. I didn't like the people that were bullying him.
Yeah, he just believed in aliens, that he thought he was probed by aliens. I'll take that over Pizzagate.
In the world with Pizzagate and people who believe that the fluoride in the water is turning frogs gay and everything that people believe now, you're like, you know what, dude, you believe in aliens. I'm gonna let you play
Yeah.
with that over there.
Bigfoot could be real. I'm with you. What else do you believe? Mothman?
You know what that is, Nessie? Nessie's, I kind of believe in Mothman.
Yeah, right. I believe in the chupacabra.
Dude, I saw Mothman Prophecies. I know that stuff's real.
Yeah.
Look, I can't watch UFO stuff on TV because I have this paranoia that they'll know that I watched it and they'll be like, well, he knows. Now we got to bring him up. We got to bring him up and ask him about some stuff.
Just the
See what he believes.
unmarked van pulls up to your house as you're watching. Turns out it's the wrong. They sent the wrong type of van. Now you're in El Salvador.
Look, guys, I'm very easily scared. The X-Files theme scares me, okay?
I still gotta watch. I've never watched the X-Files. I gotta start.
I've caught like episodes here and there.
Listen, I'm
There's
for
after
it.
the Simpsons on Sunday as a kid,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
I'm for alien conspiracies and Bigfoot and whatever. So I'm with Randy Quaid. I'm with Randy Quaid here. I draw the line at his real life conspiracies.
My wife left me because I believe in aliens. No, Randy, your wife left you because you're a drunk.
Oh, all right. Do you fellas have any more nice things to say about this movie, or shall we rate this sucker?
Quaid is good. I do like
Yeah.
him. I do like that he gets he gets payback for getting probed.
Yeah.
Not that we don't know that he was probed, but everyone's guessing it was sexual.
That scene, the way that it's acted, man. Was the guy's like, was it of a sexual nature or something?
Yeah, the rednecks. That's great. I do like to believe that he wasn't probed and he's just a crazy conspiracy nut, but it just turned out that aliens are real, so he thinks it's the same ones.
He got stolen by a completely different batch of aliens. I never even thought of that.
No, like he didn't get stolen by any aliens. He's just a wacko. But then it turns out that aliens are real, so he's like justified.
He as soon as these aliens attack, he knows it's not the aliens that he's been talking about. Like he knows, like, oh, finally I have an out. He's
Yeah.
like, oh no, my missile jammed. Oh no. I guess I'll fly it into the ship.
Yeah, he's good. Everybody's good in this.
Yeah.
The Last Like, we've talked about it. Everybody talks about it as a highlight of the movie, but it's the Bill Pullman speech.
Yeah, in
Just
one of the best movie speeches ever. Best president speech.
by far, I think so. Just an awesome moment. Every time I watch that, like, I have a lot of issues with America, but every time I watch it, I'm like, dang it, dude, maybe I do like America, and I want to defend it.
I'm not even
You know-
American, and I watch that going, yeah.
As someone who hasn't celebrated July 4th in a long fucking time, like I was watching that today and I was like, do I want to celebrate July 4th this year? The answer is still no, but
Yeah,
it had me thinking about it.
It's such a good speech that just for a split second you think, is America good actually?
And then you realize, wait, this is a fictional speech from a fictional president from a movie about an alien invasion.
Yeah.
Nope,
Yeah,
I would rather have this alien. I would rather have the alien invasion than what we have right now. So
yeah, but
yeah,
yeah, but for that split second during that speech, you're like, America, fuck yeah,
you start to believe that you're the good guys again for a little bit.
yeah,
And it's it's so wild to me because like that speech, I feel like it's just like super indicative of the moment where like Americans really like entirely as a country believed that we were like the leaders of the free world, right? Like, and that's what this movie really hinges on is like, oh, America's gonna make Independence Day for the entire planet. Like, we are totally the saviors of this, this planet of Earth, and we're gonna make everything good and right. And dude, yeah, you 100% feel that in that moment. And then you take a few steps back and you're like, oh, but yeah, it's also this same idea that has caused a lot of problems for the world. But at least in this movie, we get to save the planet. We
Yeah.
actually get to fulfill this hero fantasy, and it feels good.
At least this movie, everybody's like, yeah, we're gonna unify instead of one side being like, yeah, we're gonna unify, and the other side being like, we don't believe you.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about? America has successfully brought democracy to. No, I can't think of. I can't think of an instance. My other notion was like, man, America getting out of a conflict in 3 days of time.
And
This is
winning?
fiction.
America
And winning?
winning a conflict? America
You know-
winning a post-World War II conflict?
Bringing democracy to the aliens, boys.
Independence Day 3, president just puts tariffs on the aliens and wins the war.
125%
The aliens are like-
tariffs. Okay, they're giving us a bad deal. I'm gonna get us a great deal.
Can we coexist? No. 140. 100.
I think the last thing I'll say, and this is a small thing, but I do really like how like the 3-act structure is broken up by July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
I do like that a lot.
It's really clean. It's just really clean.
And they end each day on a pretty well. The second one's pretty low, but the pacing is just really good. Like as they're slowing it down and then ramping it back up.
Yeah. Man, they used to make movies.
Man, they used to make whole ass fucking movies.
All right, let's rate this bad boy. I'm gonna start us off. I give this a 4 out of 5.
I also give it a 4 out of 5.
Oh no. I think the American side of me gives this a 6 out of 5, but the movie watcher me probably gives this like a, I don't know, 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah, that's respectable. I can see that.
I was gonna yell at you for the 6 because that's not possible. There's only 5 slots for stars, but yeah, 3.5's respectable.
Yeah. Yeah. 3.5, 4 at that point. You're splitting hairs, but yeah.
Yeah.
Good movie. The real question is, where does this rank as a dad movie on the dad meter? How dad certified is it? Out of
Extremely
100.
dad.
Out of 100, how dad's? I don't think it's 100%, but I
You
think
don't?
I think it's close.
What
Pretty
at
high
that
for
point?
me.
What brings it down?
I think, okay, and we've talked about this before, because I think dads do have like an inclination to watch a movie and pick apart things that they'll be like, well, that's stupid. Why did
Well,
that
what's stupid?
happen?
What are they? Is it the virus? Are you still caught up on the virus?
I don't think I'm the only one. I think, but no, but let's be real. This is a stupid movie.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why we like it. But I do think it is, and especially dads who are gonna like watch this on the couch and they're gonna be dozing on and off, and they're gonna be maybe checking the the baseball score. They're gonna be
I think
like,
this-
they're gonna be like, who's that again? They're gonna be like, why? I think there is bits of this movie that they're gonna be like, well, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
This is a movie that you can very pick apart, and I think dads do love a chance to pick something apart and be like, well, I wouldn't have done that.
I would have coded that virus differently.
Yeah. I wouldn't have voted
I
for
think-
him.
I think dads dozing off in this movie are gonna lose track of so many characters.
Yeah, and I think
This-
this is
like-
this is a thing that we like usually when we do this we're like, okay, if a dad dozes off, he's going to wake up and he's going to when he wakes up, he's not going to be lost at all. You doze off at this, I think you're going to be lost.
I think a dad dozes off and doesn't realize that Randy Quaid has kids.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I think that too. They'll be like, who are the, well, what happened to the kids? I do think for I'd probably go with like 90%. I think there's too much as great as it is the good type of stupid. But I do think there's just that little bit that will be like, dads will be like, well, what's happening? Where did that guy go? You know?
Disgruntled dad reactions. Too
Yeah.
high.
Yeah. How'd the Coke can get on there if the shield's up? You know, like a dad's gonna do that.
And there's the dad that's a Pepsi fan that's like, why is it not a Pepsi can? Why is
Yeah.
it a Coke can? This is I don't like product placement in my movies.
There's the dads that don't like Will Smith anymore. He slapped a man.
You know, who slaps a man? Who
Who's-
does that?
Who does that? That's assault. He's got an anger issue.
I think those dads just have an axe to grind with Will Smith. I think they had a problem with him before the slap.
I
And
yeah.
the slap just gave them something to like something they validated. They were validated.
I
the
would go
slap.
90% dad certified, but if either of you would go higher, please convince me.
You're being pedantic, but 90's fair.
I think 90's fair. I also think that if you had a dad watching this on July 4th, dad's awake the whole time. He also puts this movie on at 9:30 a.m.
Yeah, I think on July 4th it's 110%. I think any other day of the year it's a 90. But they have to be
Yeah, 90.
American. For an American dad, it's 110% on
Oh, yeah,
July
yeah, yeah.
4th.
Pedantic does not mean what I thought it meant, but I think you're being nitpicky.
Wait, what does pedantic mean?
Google says, and this isn't the AI, this is the dictionary, of or like a pendant. You're not a pendant.
That's got to be an alternate definition. That's got to be
No,
like for the
I used
noun
it
or
right.
something.
I used it right. A person who is excessively concerned with minor details and rules,
Yeah,
or with displaying
Yeah.
academic learning. Hey, look, I brought it back to academics.
I
We
was
got a fellow academic here.
I was good.
Full circle.
I was gonna say, there's no way I've been using one of my favorite words wrong for 15 years.
Yeah, it threw me because I was like, let me make sure. I was like, I want to make sure. I don't want to sound like, yeah, I'm using it wrong. No, wait, I am using it right. Google is wrong. Fucking Google. But yeah, 90. But I do think if you're watching this around July 4th, I do think it goes up
Yeah,
way up. And if you're a if you're still fireworks shooting off, like proud to be an American, this is 100% because you're just like, yeah, we're gonna go watch ID4, man. Come on over, brother. We're
who's
crack some cold ones, not Bud Light. No, not
Listen,
the Bud Light. We
I-
got Coors.
if you know, if you have a friend or a loved one who calls this movie ID4, just cut them out of your life. You don't need that kind of negative energy.
I think if you know someone who calls this movie ID4, you have a license to shoot them in the head.
Dude, my conspiracy theory is that that's not real. That was not a real marketing like nickname for this movie. ID4 doesn't make any sense. I
Yeah.
cannot wrap my head around that.
Maybe if there's a 4th Independence Day.
I mean, they were shooting to make more in the series, right? We got Resurgence. Don't worry. And that came out 20 years afterwards, so we're on
Yeah.
track. 11 years from now, we got ID3 coming out.
I'll tell you
And
who's
then-
calling this. I'll tell you who's calling this ID4. The negative Nancys who type in IMDb goofs, and who we're
Ooh, is that
who we're about to call out in our segment, the negative Nancys of the week.
He segued. He did it.
Hell yeah!
Jesus, he did it.
This is our
That's
famous
beautiful.
segment where we go on IMDb and we look up the goofs section where people take the time out of their lives to submit these what they feel are errors that the great errors that the movie has made that are so terrible that they must be known.
These filmmakers must be held accountable for these errors.
Yeah.
So who's
movie
going to bring them to task?
suffered.
Yeah.
The
I-
movies
Who's gonna
are
bring them to
worse.
Yeah, these people, we like to say they watch movies incorrectly, and I stand by that. I'll start us off. I got mine here. This person, and for some god awful reason, this has 24 upvotes and only 7 downvotes. But this person writes, at around 27 minutes, when he leaves his office, David says that there are roughly 6 hours until the countdown is finished. When he arrives at his father's, the roads are already packed. It takes about 4 hours to drive from New York to DC, in perfect traffic. In reality, they never would have made it out of New York in time.
You know what? I agree. Have you made that drive?
Maybe they took the train. Maybe
I don't
the
know.
train was running.
Is it? I bet this person's also the type of person. Whenever a movie has a scene set in Times Square, they type up the goof. It's actually much busier than that, and they'd never be able to. They'd never be able to maneuver. This is the type of person that whenever somebody parks their car in a movie, they go, they'd never be able to find a spot that fast. There'd never be
I'm
a spot in
still-
front of the building.
Dude, the person who writes that about Times Square is somebody who recently moved to New York but wants to pretend that they've been a New Yorker their entire life.
Exactly. I still think all these goofs are written by the same person. Every goof ever on IMDb is just the same person.
The
Just
same.
this one insane person. It's like,
You know what?
yeah, you know,
Can we
The
can we
bo-
just can we just spread the conspiracy that it's David Zaslav?
yeah.
It's him.
You
It's all
know,
him.
when Dave Chappelle fell out of the plane in Con Air, it was a dummy that hit the car, so it wasn't Dave Chappelle. Yeah, no shit, dude. No fucking shit. I've
The
got
person
one
who
right.
wrote the goofs for all of these was the person who pitched the idea of nicknaming this ID4.
Yes. Yes.
They're totally gonna. The kids will call it ID4. I swear.
Yeah, and then when nobody called it that, they were like, "I'm going to air all my grievances."
Yep.
So my new rule with IMDb goofs is I try to find a severely downvoted one, and it took me a while because this has a lot of goofs. But I have where'd it go? Here it is. At around 39 minutes, even with the say-so of a member of the president's cabinet, David and his father should not be able to just waltz into the White House and especially the Oval Office.
Buddy, the aliens have invaded. I
There's
think there's special circumstances.
there's a saucer over the fucking White House, the size of a city,
Yeah.
and you don't think the White House decorum is just gone, dude? It's gone. Come on.
Yeah, there's a saucer the size of a city above the White House. The rules are out the window. You don't think they're just going to let a guy claim it? I have the answer. Just waltz in?
These goofers just like hitting the plot. Like, what was the one from Punch Drunk Love? He wouldn't call a sex line. He should just masturbate.
Yeah,
It's like, no, that's the plot. That's the fucking plot.
That's the plot of the movie.
They have to go into the White House. The man punched the president at one point. He can walk into the Oval Office.
Yeah. I hate these people. I hate them.
All right, I picked this one. It actually got 6 upvotes and only 2 downvotes, but it caught my attention because it is a massive paragraph, which
Ooh.
means that
I like
a
the
lot
massive.
of
I
time-
like the massive paragraph ones because they're usually quite unhinged.
there's a lot of details. So here we go. At around 2 hours 5 minutes, so towards the very end of the movie, during the final battle over Area 51, Russell Case appears in his F-18 and states he is armed. After he attempts to acquire a radar lock on the alien's primary weapon, he states he is locked on and has tone. He then says that the tactical brevity code, Fox 2, which indicates the launch of an infrared guided missile. I mean, if you're still with me, right?
Oh, I'm with you.
However, the missile he is actually attempting to launch is an AIM-54 Phoenix, which is an active radar-guided missile designated by the launch code Fox 3. The master monitor display also incorrectly shows the missile mounted on the port wingtip launcher of the aircraft, where the AIM-9 Sidewinder would normally be mounted, instead of on the port wings weapon pylon. Where the missile actually is. Historically, the F-14 Tomcat was the only fighter capable of carrying the AIM-54, as it was such a heavy missile, and the AIM-54 was never used on the FA-18. Instead, they carry the AIM-120 AMRAAMs, not the AIM-54 Phoenix that were shown in the film.
About 4 times there,
Oh.
I was saying to myself, "Oh my god, he's still going."
No one cares.
Yeah, no one cares.
No one cares where the missiles are and what missiles they were on what aircraft.
If
Like-
the reason your immersion breaks in the movie Independence Day is that he's using the wrong missiles, I don't know, man. Go outside.
Like,
Take up jogging. Movies aren't for you.
I feel like to actually get all this information, you had to pause this movie and write down notes, probably like 15 times during this scene to get all of this information.
Oh
Like,
god.
this is somebody who was so riled up that these missiles were in the calls where the brevity codes were incorrect. Like, they were pissed. They were really pissed. This took them, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes of their life to get all the information, write it all down, run it through Chat GPT to clean up some of the errors, and then just like put it in here.
This
They don't even have to
man
put their name on it.
This man was writing a dissertation on all the various
think-
missile errors in Independence Day.
Do you think there are guys that write these and they take they can't claim them on the website. So if you've ever been on IMDb, like there's no names attached to these. But do you think there's someone that has like their own website with like all of their IMDb goofs they've written?
There has to be.
They have it. They have it listed like a portfolio. Look at how much smarter I am than the movies I watch. Movies are lame.
And you know
Hire
what?
me for continuity errors in your next movie.
It got him a job as a podcaster, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
This guy has attention to detail. Bring him in.
you know this guy's podcasting somewhere about everything wrong with movies. Oh.
Big MCU fan. He likes the right MCU movies. He doesn't like the wrong MCU movies.
What kind of MCU movie are you?
No,
He's got his red sunglasses on, his cap shield. So, what kind of MCU movie are you?
Where are you from? No, Jesus.
What kind of MCU fan are you?
I'm not usually this unhinged. I'm sorry. That was unhinged.
Oh God, I hate these people.
I learned a thing about missiles that I will forget by the time this recording ends.
You know what? I'm gonna go. After this ends, I'm gonna go play some Ace Combat. I'm gonna be like, I know all the missiles now.
You need to play the superior flying game. You need to go play Tom Clancy's Hawks. Beat that, and then play Hawks 2. HAWX, in case you were wondering.
I would have to buy them for my PS3. I'll go.
Oh, they're good. I was thinking about them as they were flying around in this movie. I was like, oh, I should replay Hawks.
I was thinking about, just because of the way they were flying around in like the desert and the CGI alien ships, I was thinking about the Clone Wars. I was thinking of the Battle of Genosha.
You poor soul.
Oh, okay. Our next segment is a fun one. It's time for dad jokes.
I got one for the first time in like a while. I've got one.
Oh, so do I.
I've got one. Hold on, I gotta pull it up. I don't want to mess. If I mess it up, I'm gonna be really upset.
All right.
Okay, so Randy Quaid's pants look a little bulky in this movie. I guess you could say it was in Depends that day.
Oh God. Oh no. If I roll my eyes anymore, I'd be the Undertaker.
That setup was amazing for that punchline.
Yeah, good setup.
I feel like
good setup.
I feel like a dad would be like, I noticed his pants are kind of bulky.
I got.
Like, oh God, where's this going? Dad, please stop.
I got mine here. You ready? All right. Why did the computer virus disappear?
Why?
It ran somewhere.
It's not even fair trying to come up with these against you, man.
That's
not
true.
even a dad. It's sick. It's gross. You sure you don't got some kids running around somewhere?
That's true. It is unfair to guess that they have to come on and make a dad joke against two comedy writers.
I couldn't come up with anything. I'll be honest. I tried to riff on one of Will Smith's lines, but I just could not put anything together. So I fell asleep during my dad joke.
You know what? That's fine. That's a dad joke in and of itself.
This is the hardest segment. I will say the last two movies I didn't have a dad joke, and I was like, yeah, I don't have one.
Yeah, it's definitely, this is the one that I'm like, oh, I need one, and I either get it like 10 minutes before we record, or I'm just like, I got nothing.
Yeah, my plan for the dad joke is like, I'm gonna come up with it during the episode.
Yeah.
Sometimes that works out great. Sometimes not so much.
I was putting on my Depend earlier, and I was like, I have it. You guys wear those to podcast, right?
You have to, especially ours where we take up so much time doing just diddly down.
Like the survey.
If I know podcast can be 2 hours, you gotta have the podcast Depends on podcast brand. You get 10% off if you use the code Preorder Bonus Cast when you get the podcast Depends.
Oh, he's putting his own ad in our podcast. No,
an ad.
No.
And there's a little sticker for a coupon for BetterHelp on that package of Depends.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? We deserve it because I did that on Johnny's show when we went on Johnny's show.
I forgot you did that.
I did do that. And you know what? I'm going to do it again when we go on next time.
Oh, you sick man.
All right.
Here I am reading the book and getting ready for it. And you're just like, I'm working on my
I'm
Type
work-
5 for
I'm work-
Johnny's podcast.
Yeah, I'm working on my bits. I'm like, how am I going to derail this serious topic? How am I going to derail it?
Uh,
Oh, I'm like, oh, they're talking about Jack Welch. I'm going to pretend he's the juice guy.
just watch 30 Rock to prepare.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's a lot of Jack Welch in 30 Rock.
Yeah, they're talking about David Zaslav's mentor. I'm going to pretend he's the grape juice guy. All right. Well,
Welches and Welches. Yeah.
before we get on to spin the wheel to determine what the next movie is, as always, whenever we have a guest, we have this very special segment. It is the Dad Questionnaire. Jacob, I have 15 questions for you.
All right.
You are going to give me just straight from the heart the first answer that comes to you.
Like the most fatherly response.
Yeah, the most fatherly response, just straight from your heart, first thing in your head when I ask. And through these responses, the listeners will know just how dad you are.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
You won't know, but the listeners will know. That's what matters. All right. Question 1. Do you think you could land an airplane in an emergency?
No, dude, we're going down. I watched a clip today, actually, of somebody who was in a small single engine plane and they managed to land on a golf course. And everybody's like, dude, that was an insane plane crash. And I was like, they didn't crash. This is what they did was actually freaking remarkable. That was my dadly anger at those online people.
Yeah, that's
but
not a
Nah, dude,
crash.
that's not a crash, dude. But nah, dude, we're going down. Say your prayers, say your goodbyes.
Question 2. What is your favorite action movie?
Oh no. Oh no, this isn't a great dad answer. This is based on what I've watched recently. Monkey Man.
You know what? I'll take it. What is your remote drop movie? This is, if you don't know, this is the movie that when you see it on TV, you drop the remote and watch.
Born Identity.
Ooh, that's
so
good. That's
good
good.
answer. Good answer. I like this guy.
Yes.
He lost me at Monkey Man for a minute, but I'm back.
Question 4. How often do you think about the Roman Empire?
I think about the Mayan Empire daily, not the Roman Empire.
Okay. You know what? It is an empire. You're thinking about a empire. Question 5. Have you ever watched a movie standing up? And if so, what's the longest you lasted before sitting?
Crap, dude. Yeah, I've done it. I think the longest I went was like 45, 50 minutes.
Ooh.
What was the movie?
Dude, I think it was Puss in Boots.
Ooh.
The Last Wish? Like the Last
The
Wish or the first one?
Last Wish.
Oh, it's so good.
That's a
though.
good movie.
Dude, it is-
That's a good
It's
movie.
so good.
It's, yeah. Ooh, I love Zorro, but a cat.
That wolf is terrifying. Again,
It is.
movies
It is.
movies that have like horror scenes that aren't horror. It's great. It's a good movie.
Again,
Everyone go watch
movies
it.
that make my kids watch and then they get scared.
What gets you in, this is not on the question, but like what gets you in trouble more, the movies that they're scared of or the movies that make them sad?
Oh, the movies that make them sad.
Because that's what you got banned on. Flow.
Yeah, Flow. So watch Flow because it was, this indie animated movie from last year, I think. Got a bunch of praise. I was like, all right, boys, let's watch this. It's about a cat in a boat. And they're like, yeah, Dad. And then it got really sad. And yeah, the sad movies get me in trouble way more than the scary movies.
But yeah, like a lot of kids' movies are sad. Like I'm thinking of The Wild Robot, which is very like pointed towards kids, but that's sad as hell, right?
Yeah.
Like
It's super sad.
I
And you
cried.
know what?
I cried multiple times.
Yeah. I think I cried like twice in the span of 10 minutes.
That was my
Dude, yeah.
4-year-old's go-to movie for like 3 weeks. So I watched it 20 times.
Oof.
And Brightbeak flying off with the flock is just
Yeah.
migrating with the flock. I cry every time.
It rips your heart out. That one.
Yeah.
Okay, but we watched that in the theater, which does make it easier because they have a giant bucket of popcorn.
Yeah.
And they can't leave because you're like, I paid $40 for this. We're staying.
Half of our mortgage is in this cinema right now.
We can't leave until I've had my 5th Coke Zero, kids.
All right.
We're staying until they say chicken jockey, and then we're throwing our popcorn. Then we can leave.
Yeah, we watching the Wild Robot. Wow, Dad, when did they say chicken jockey? Just you go to every movie now. When do they say chicken jockey? All right. Question 6. If you were stranded on a deserted island, what movie would you want with you? Now you can watch it.
Ooh.
It's not just a DVD case that you can look at. You can watch it.
Okay.
A lot of people get confused.
Clarification here is really important.
Yeah, a lot of people get
'Cause-
confused at this one, and they sometimes they assume right at the top that they go, "Can I watch it?" Or is it just with me?
Do I look at it longingly like that
Yeah.
Wolverine X-Men meme?
Does
right?
the-
Him looking at the picture.
Does the steel book become my Wilson?
I don't know if okay. I don't need to think. I'm just the first thing that comes to my mind. Princess Mononoke.
That's good. Okay, question 7. How many works of Taylor Sheridan have you seen?
I don't know. Not many.
Okay. Do you know who Taylor Sheridan is?
I don't think I do.
Okay,
No.
I'll
We found a second one.
yes, this
We
is
found
yes.
a second one.
This is incredible. I will explain to him because maybe he produced the television show Yellowstone, all of the Yellowstone spin-offs, the movie Sicario, Hell or High Water, Wind River.
He was also in Sons of Anarchy. He played the cop that gets run over in season 3.
Sicario has been on my backlog list for 10 years now, I guess. It came out in 2015.
Wow.
I don't think I've seen any of these.
Okay.
I'm just glad that we're finding more people who don't know who he is.
we're
The world
finding-
is healing.
And we're finding dads who don't know who he is. This is good.
I love it
This is good.
because he's written good stuff. None of it is the Yellowstone stuff.
Yeah, no, but that's what dads gravitate towards. The
I
Yellowstone.
mean, my dad loves Yellowstone. He's told
Yeah.
me to watch that a million times.
My dad loves Yellowstone. I told this story the last time we had a guest on the show, and I asked him this question. But my dad started watching Yellowstone. And was like, "Oh, he's like, I'm going to be a cowboy. I want to be a cowboy. Taylor Sheridan's a genius." My friend's dad started watching Yellowstone, and we didn't talk about it at all, and it wasn't like coordinated in any way. And I'm telling my friend, my dad started watching Yellowstone, and he keeps praising Taylor Sheridan. He's like, my dad keeps watching Yellowstone. Praising Taylor Sheridan. I'm like, it's just like, what's going on with Taylor Sheridan and fathers?
I don't know. My dad
Who is
loves
giving-
that show, though.
Who is giving these dads the pipeline to Yellowstone? Where we got to get these. We got to get this off the streets.
Yellowstone, and Tulsa King, and now there's Landman.
It's dope sick, but instead of meth, it's instead of amphetamines, it's Taylor Sheridan universe shows.
Yeah.
Okay, question 8. If a loved one was kidnapped, which movie character would you most emulate while attempting a dare and rescue?
Who thinks that they could do anything and dies immediately? I don't know. The scantily clad hot girl from any teenage B slasher horror movie. It's probably me. Die within 15 minutes screaming.
I do appreciate how you went with the scantily clad teen girl instead of the jock who usually also dies while trying to be a hero. You're like, no, I'm gonna go with the cheerleader.
Jake, you've got final girl energy. Stop it.
Yeah.
I will be scantily clad though when I die trying to save the kidnapped loved one.
That's you know what?
For the viewers.
For the viewers.
That's hot.
All right. Question 9. Do you let others touch the thermostat?
Oh no. The pause was already too long. My kids can't reach it. So
You
no.
keep moving because you keep moving it up.
Smart strategy.
Listen, I just want to say that I haven't fully been consumed by thermostat paranoia, but I do feel it coming on. And I don't like it, but I know it's happening. I've taken preventative measures. I've spoken with my doctor. Nothing seems to be working.
Question 10. What is the best sandwich?
Ooh. Can I tell you a story about the best sandwich I ever had?
Yes.
Yes.
There's nothing more dad than being asked a question. Let me tell you a story.
I've had 2 best sandwiches, but I'm going to tell you about the best of the best sandwiches, right? So my wife, she was actually raised in upstate New York, and we lived in New Jersey for a long time. And while we were living there, we decided to go back and visit her hometown. And she says, We used to come here as a family like every Friday night. This was our like family thing. We'd come to this restaurant and we'd get food, and it was the best food ever. And I was like, well, let's go. We're going to go up to upstate New York. We're going to go see Niagara Falls. Let's check out this restaurant. So we go to this tiny town just outside of Buffalo, New York. And we go to this restaurant. It's called the Village Eatery, which is one of those vague names that means it could either be one of the greatest restaurants on this planet, or it could just be the first thing somebody thought of when they decided on a whim to make a restaurant. We go into this place, and the server that comes by has the most, like, you cannot copy, the most irreplaceable upstate New Yorker accent I had heard in my entire life. I don't even remember what she looked like. I only remember what she sounds like, because it was such a perfect accent that nobody could replicate. She gives us a list she gives us a menu, and it's a list of sandwiches. This place is pretty much nothing but sandwiches and a soup of the day. And I go, all right, honey, what do I get here? She said, listen, from what I remember, everything here is amazing. And so I'm looking over here and I'm going through an Italian like meatball sub phase. And so that's what I order, right? My wife orders the house club, and I think we just get like a bunch of chicken tenders for the kids. Server comes back, she delivers all the food, and the meatball sub is open face. It's just absolutely slathered in sauce. It's got 4 of the biggest meatballs, like size of your fist, on this sandwich, and it is just covered in provolone cheese. It's served with a fork and a knife because they don't expect you to pick this thing up, right? So I stab the first meatball and I cut through half of the loaf that the sandwich is on is already just absolutely drenched, soaked with tomato sauce. I take a bite and I'm like, honey, this is the greatest sandwich I've ever had in my life. And she said, no, mine's better. And I was like, wait, you just got the house club. There's no way it's better than this meatball sub right here. She says, try it. So she hands me over the sandwich. The sandwich is like a fire hose. It is massive. I like, I'm 30 Rock. Speaking of 30 Rock, I unhinge my jaw to get my mouth over the end of this thing. And I clamp down and I take a bite, and I left this planet. My spirit ascended and I achieved nirvana. Like, this thing was the greatest sandwich I'd ever had in my entire life. Like the freshly picked tomatoes, like the thickest applewood smoked bacon, layers upon layers of ham and turkey and cheese. And I said, honey, can we switch sandwiches? And she says, over my dead body, and takes the sandwich back. What were we talking about?
What a ride.
Wait. You got 2 of the greatest sandwiches in one go, and some of us still haven't had our greatest sandwich ever.
Well, Village Eatery, Lockport, New York.
Incredible.
That place will be.
I'm writing it down.
You
Did you go
know,
ahead
that
That's
was
not far.
that was a roller coaster.
What was the question? I forgot.
What is the best sandwich?
Did you order your wife? Did you order another sandwich? Like, I want this one to take home. Give me one of those to take home.
I mean, I think she made me eat my sandwich because they were not cheap. And then I was like, we got to come back. She's like, we'll see. I think she wanted to ride that victory out.
I really
But she had
thought
picked the best sandwich.
I really thought you were taking us down this journey of this meatball sub, and I was gonna be like, yeah, a great meatball sub. That's a excellent. Meatball sub's a top tier sandwich normally, and then what a swerve.
I uploaded the virus in that moment.
Yeah, that was like a Shyamalan moment. You got us thinking it's the meatball sub. Here's the twist. It's the club.
Here's the twist: the lady in the water is not actually a bad guy.
What?
All right. Question 11. Who is the best Jack? Bauer, Reacher, or Ryan?
I might be a product of my time. I'm going Bauer.
Good man.
Good man.
An old dad right there.
Look, I'm a fan. Bauer's people will complain about his methods, but damn it, he gets results. Question 12. What is your favorite movie quote?
Probably Maggie Smith, and I hate to say that it comes from Harry Potter, but the one that I quote the most is she says, sheer dumb luck. And that's how I describe all of the successes in my life.
Do you say it like that with the accent?
I do. You have to. It's the delivery.
Yeah, no, that's I would think lesser of you if you didn't use the accent.
I think a runner-up has got to be a lot of things that Henry Sr. says in Indiana Jones, though.
Yes. Fun
Harry
fact.
Potter and Indiana Jones, both series with scary moments that aren't scary. We're pulling them out of the woodworks. We're pulling them out of the woodwork.
One of my favorite movie lines is when Henry Jones Sr. says to Indy, "She talks in her sleep." She talks in her sleep.
Also, son, they got us.
Which, by the way, she talks in her sleep. I'm gonna pull my. Did you know that Viggo Mortensen really broke his toe? She talks in her sleep. Improv. That was a Sean Connery. That was a Sean Connery ad lib.
You need to watch these Indiana Jones movies. Keep hearing good things about them.
You could skip Temple Doom. Here's my hot take about Indiana Jones.
Ooh.
Here's my hot take. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is part of the trilogy more than the Temple of Doom is.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh. I mean, I could see that because it does mention Marion
Yeah, that's my hot take.
and Marcus is there.
I like this hot take.
Yeah, I can get behind it. Although I don't think you should skip Temple of Doom because it has short round.
I mean, fine, I rescind that part. But for me, it's not OG trilogy anymore.
I mean, I've seen the only one I've seen all the way through is Crystal Skull. Crystal Skull.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you got to get on those.
What?
Okay.
I gotta say, listen, as much crap as Crystal Skull got, the very end when the hat is going down like the aisle in the chapel at the wedding, and then Shia LaBeouf picks it up, and then Harrison Ford takes it from him. Dude, I love that part.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It was almost a passing of the torch where it was like, no, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I think Crystal Skull is much better than people give it credit for. Its biggest sin is that it's not any of the first three.
I
Fair.
need to rewatch that. Maybe I'll show that to my kids. Are there any scary or sad moments in that one?
Crystal Skull? I think there's a scene where somebody gets eaten alive by fire ants.
That's why we haven't shown them the 1999 The Mummy yet, because of that scene with the
Ooh.
scare beetles eating the dudes.
Oh, the Beatles are
Growing up with
terrifying. in that.
Yeah. They go under the skin.
Yeah, going under the skin. Like, my kids are not going to jive with that.
Have they seen any of the Indiana Jones movies?
Yeah, actually, they have. They've seen The Last Crusade. They've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark. They haven't watched the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. We've watched that multiple
Okay.
times. And
So they
the
haven't.
face melting stuff.
The face melting is scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
I
they?
tell them when Indy says look away or close your eyes, that's when you close your eyes.
Okay. Did they see the zombie man in Last Crusade when he ages
No,
into dust?
No, we
No,
had
they
to
didn't
close
see
our eyes
that?
for that one.
Okay.
Although I think my second oldest, my middle child, I think he had his eyes open. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure he did.
I was
How
gonna
middle
say.
child of him.
How middle child?
I was gonna say if they can watch those, they're probably fine with whatever's a guy getting eaten alive by ants in Crystal Skull.
yeah.
But if they haven't,
They
then
love
I don't
Indiana
know.
Jones.
If they haven't,
They actually really want. They watched me play some of Indiana Jones with the Great Circle, and they're like, "Can we play this?" And I was like, "Let me play through it, see if there's anything." There's a few boss fights in there that will scare the crap out of them, but otherwise, I was like,
yeah,
"I don't know, man."
the
on
giant,
story mode?
the giant guy in the dark freaked me out.
Yeah, dude, that freaked me out. Yeah, my kids aren't making it through that.
Yeah. Great game though. They gotta
It's
get that DLC out already.
in my backlog. It's on the Game Pass.
All right. What question was I on? Oh yeah, movie question. Okay, question 13. Who is the coolest movie character?
The coolest movie character, probably, dude. I'm going to Ocean's 11, man.
Mm.
A lot
That-
of cool guys in there.
It's a movie filled with cool dudes.
It's pretty much the point of the movie. Cool dudes do cool
Yeah.
thing.
Just
But,
all of them
I also-
collectively?
No. I think that's Brad Pitt. Whoever his name is in that. I think it's him. But let's see. My wife and I really like Logan Lucky and
Ooh.
Channing Tatum in that. I would consider a cool dude. I like him. Even though people don't think he's cool, he's very cool.
Yeah,
We need to get him
that's a
back in
cool
more
movie.
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like Tatum.
Tatum is good. Logan Lucky, good movie. I believe this is my hot take. I believe without Logan Lucky, there would be no Benoit Blanc. I think Ryan Johnson saw Logan Lucky, saw what Daniel Craig was doing, and was like, "That's my guy.
There he is.
There he is.
I 100% believe that.
There's my Southern drawl detective."
Yep. There he is.
All right. Question 14. Favorite dad joke?
Okay. This is my uncle's favorite joke. It's my favorite dad joke. What do a duck and a motorcycle have in common?
What?
They both have handlebars, except for the duck.
It's so
Can someone
stupid.
explain it to me?
It's so stupid.
They both have handlebars except for the duck. Oh, it's just misdirection.
It's just stupid.
It's just
great.
stupid. All right. The last and most important question.
Mm,
What is the best Tom Cruise movie?
Mission Impossible 1.
Wow, he had that in the chamber.
You know
Yeah.
what? Yeah. I respect it.
Second one, let me lose all the respect. Second one, Far and Away.
You know what?
What? No.
You know what? I respect it. I respect it too. I honestly, I almost respect it more than Mission.
What a heel
saying
turn.
Mission Impossible.
What a heel turn.
Far and Away, good for you, man.
You think Tom Cruise doesn't have range? Let me show you MI1 and Far and Away. Dude, we watched the reason I bring up Far and Away is that was actually the first Tom Cruise movie I had ever watched. And for whatever reason, my family growing up, we watched that movie a lot. And so I didn't really know Tom Cruise, who he really was, who he truly was, until I realized he was in other movies. And then I think the next Tom Cruise movie I saw was Top Gun. And I was like, oh, I guess this is Tom Cruise.
All right. Well, that is it for the dad questionnaire. Jacob Price, your dadness is known.
I
I'm not
always
gonna,
love that response.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they're gonna get a score at the end. It's like, no,
Yeah,
here you go.
Yeah, no, there's no score. It's just that the
It's
listeners,
known out of known.
yeah, now the listeners know how dad you are. They will each have their own interpretations based on your answers, and there's really nothing you can do at this point to stop them.
If you want to score, just go take a Myers-Briggs test or something. I don't know. I'm an LBN 2349.
Go ham. I'm proud of my dadness. I like Far and Away. Gosh darn it.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. All right. Well,
I applaud your dadness.
all that's left now is for us to spin the movie wheel and get out of here.
Spin that wheel.
I'm gonna put this up on the screen because I know.
This is a new wheel, right? We're introducing the new wheel today.
Yes. Jacob, you're part of a very historic moment. We are introducing, because this is our premiere, we are introducing the listeners to Granddaughter of Wheel.
Man, third generation wheel. Look at that thing.
Look at this wheel. Look at this beautiful wheel. We had Wheel, we had Son of Wheel, now we have Granddaughter of Wheel. I'm going to go through,
Dude, that's quite the wheel.
yeah, I'm going to go through the movies on this wheel for the listeners.
As a wheelman myself, I'm quite jealous of this wheel.
Yes, I know. You have many wheels on your stream. I'm also a wheel man. I enjoy the wheel.
Oh my gosh, Hot Fuzz is on here?
Yeah, we
Too
got
bad it's
too bad what?
Kindergarten Cop?
Yeah.
Dude, I picked the wrong episode. No, I'm kidding.
I did give you a choice. I said, "What
You did give me a choice.
I said,
Disturbia?
you
Oh my
want-
god.
do you want
Blazing
indep-
Saddles?
do you want Independence Day or do you want to do episode 2?"
The Fugitive?
Look at this wheel.
Yeah, this
Dude,
is an
this is a-
incredible wheel. This might be
This wheel's amazing.
just in terms of even just variety. This is an amazing wheel. We have with us. We have Den of Thieves. We have Mystic River. We have
Is that Mauricio in there?
Is that my Mauricio in there? We have Taken. We have Do the Right Thing. We have Glenn Ross. We have Clifford, not the big red dog, the Martin Short one. We have
Thank you.
we have Pain and Gain. We have Children of Men. We have a double feature of The Conversation and Enemy of the State. We have The Fugitive, The Wrestler.
Wait. Sorry, I'm interrupting. I don't care. That's one of my favorite movie lines of all time from The
Yes.
Fugitive.
Yes. That's in our intro.
Sorry, you may resume.
Yes.
It's a great wheel. I'm just super overjoyed about this wheel.
The Fugitive, The Wrestler, Kick-Ass, Kingsman, The Secret Service, Hot Fuzz, They Live, The In-Laws, Sunshine, Blazing Saddles, The World's End, Disturbia, Kindergarten Cop, and Accepted.
Fuck, I think I love just about every movie on this wheel. This might be a problem.
This is
Oh.
a great wheel.
Is this going to be the first wheel without a single negative review episode?
You know how hard it's going to be to make our end of season list? Like, I had a
Oh.
hard time with Son of Wheel. I'm going to have a way harder time with this.
Yeah, this is a great wheel. I think, yeah.
Such a good wheel.
We had a couple movies in season 1 we didn't like. We had we had a handful of movies, especially at the beginning of season 2 we didn't like. I don't know, man. These are all incredible.
Son of Wheel continued, like the sins of the father carried over to Son of Wheel. But I think Granddaughter Wheel is going to it's going to get out of the generational trouble from the family. And just, this is going to be the first generation to pull themselves out of this misery.
We'll
Granddaughter
overcome the curse.
Granddaughter Wheel overcame the generational trauma. They went through an elevated horror movie. They fought their they fought their serious monster, and they've come out the other end. All right,
It will not follow Granddaughter of Wheel.
I'm gonna spin this wheel as always. I'm going to do the wheel sound effect. Jacob, whatever this wheel lands on is what you would have been on for if you had chosen to be on episode 2.
Please don't be the fugitive.
So grovel
Or
in
Peter
pain.
Blazing Saddles.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Dude, amazing.
You know, morons.
I'm in a satire mood. This is perfect.
Oh,
my week is
incredible.
made.
Yes.
Let me see if it's streaming anywhere here in the States for our state viewers. State listeners, I'm sorry.
Now listen, I'm very glad
Mhm.
you came on for Independence Day, Jacob. Incredible movie. How do you feel about this?
About this, Blazing Saddles. You know what? I was happy to be here to talk Independence Day. Independence Day is just a good time,
It is.
you know?
It is a great time.
This is on the Roku channel
Is it?
with a premium subscription. You could probably also just steal this from somewhere. I don't know. Steal it from your
This-
local library.
Yeah.
Wait, this is also on Netflix.
Is it?
But-
Is it on Netflix?
It doesn't show
Hold on.
Netflix. It doesn't show Netflix for me. I'm gonna go on to my one of my favorite apps, Just Watch. Which
Just
if you
watch.
if you don't know, you just literally type in a movie and it'll tell you all the places you can watch it for free. If
Your neighbor's
possible.
watching it. It has like binoculars if someone near you is watching it.
Okay, it's not on Netflix. I double checked.
Blazing Saddles.
dying.
Blazing Saddles looks like Blazing Saddles is not available to stream anywhere in Canada. Somehow I think this is Trump's fault.
It's on. It says it's on Prime Video. So I
To-
guess if you have Prime Video, you can stream it.
To rent
Uh,
or like to watch?
I think to stream it.
Wait, is there a new Knives Out?
Yeah, there's one coming.
Oh, it's coming.
What's it? It's called like Dead Man Walking or something like that.
Wake Up Dead.
Yeah,
Man.
Wake Up Dead Man.
Wake Up
It's,
Dead
it's
Man.
the third one.
Ah.
I might have to go to my library for this movie.
Do they do the name? Do they do the name thing like a Knives Out mystery?
Of course
Wake
they
up,
do.
Dead Man.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
People are so
Ballerina
dumb.
from the world of John Wick.
God damn, I hate how stupid people are.
Yeah.
They're gonna start doing it in video games also.
You think?
It's gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Many gamers are dumber than the average moviegoer.
Oh, way
Honestly,
dumber. Way dumber.
All right. Well,
It's a bummer. I thought this would be streaming in more places. Oh well.
Oh, well,
I'm gonna
well,
watch it on Prime Video,
I-
or
I'll see if my
Buy it.
library. I'll see if my library has it. I might rent this one. Sometimes I don't like to rent
Right.
these movies, but I'll rent it.
I'm kind of
You're gonna- I
surprised
hope you
it's
get-
not on Tubi. Tubi usually scoops up some of these older 60s,
Yeah.
70s, 80s movies. Pretty.
That's true.
handily.
Tubi is really good for these
haven't-
older movies.
I've had a
Yeah.
few pop up. I hope you get nasty looks at your library while renting out Blazing Saddles. Like, does he know what they talk about in that movie? That terrible man.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. He
You know,
he,
I watched-
he badmouths farmers.
These people are morons.
Incredible.
Shoot, man. I'm gassed. I'm
What
gassed.
a wheel. What a
Yeah,
wheel.
It's an incredible wheel. We got an incredible season for you folks. For all you standees, and especially you, Steve Buscemi. But for now,
Steven Buscemi.
that is it for us. Jacob, why don't you tell people where they can follow you? What are you up to on the interwebs?
Yes. If you thought that I was remotely interesting, thank you. I really appreciate that. You can find me on Blue Sky. I'm chipdip. What do we call this? Bisky is what I think I last heard when it was vocalized.
Bisky.
Chipdip.bisky. Or bsky.social. I do some. I'm pretty regular part-time streamer on Twitch. If you like video games, you can find me there at twitch.tv/chiptip18. But the real stuff that I do is the pre-order bonus podcast. We actually just had Matt on the show to talk about Avowed, but the time you're listening to this episode is actually ancient. So,
Yeah.
but
I-
that happened.
I accidentally, I was so caught up, I forgot to promote this podcast when I was on.
Jesus, no, you had one job.
It's what's funny is that I said everywhere else people could follow me, and I didn't mention the podcast.
You son of a bitch.
You know, I
He'll
got
fix it in the show notes.
I got so caught up in it. We were talking about video games, so I just mentioned all the video game stuff I'm doing, and then like as Jacob's co-host Cameron was like leading everybody out, I was thinking in my head, wait a minute, I forgot something important.
You can find Matt at the Stand and Watch podcast, available on all major podcasting platforms. You can find
any guest spots he does, you need to go with him now.
Yeah. Pre-order bonus podcast is terrible SEO. If you type in pre-order bonus Jacob or pre-order bonus Cameron, it will pop up though. It's one of the top hits, thank goodness. On all major podcasting platforms. I don't know if I do anything else interesting. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I will say, I do. Your podcast is like the only gaming podcast I still listen to, because everybody else is just let's talk about the news, and that's it.
Yeah,
it's
everybody-
bad, man.
Everybody's doing a game. Every gaming podcast these days is just like three white dudes complaining.
Yeah, I mean, the temptation's there. Let me tell you,
And
man.
I just really appreciate that you guys are just like, we're going to talk about a game. We're going to pick one game. We're going to talk about it. It's like a book club. I'm like, just, yeah, man. It's nice.
Thanks. My last question, though, actually for these two here is, why is Cecil better than Cloud?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You're playing 4 right now, right?
Yeah. So for some context here, I'm playing through Final Fantasy IV on stream right now. I think I'm at like the very end of the game, and I love my boy Cecil, even though everybody and their mom sees him coming from a mile away, and he's the most easily manipulated guy ever. But then again, Cloud just straight up hands Sephiroth the black materia, right? But I bring this up because on Blue Sky we were talking about this. I haven't finished Final Fantasy IV yet, and I have conflicted feelings that I might like it, and I might like Cecil more than Cloud. And Cloud's my dark emo prince, soulmate. So I don't know. Why is Cecil better than Cloud?
I think it's the fact that Cecil could basically be a dark emo boy. If he had stayed a Dark Knight the whole game, he's in there. But then he gets that transformation to Paladin about not even the halfway mark, like just before the halfway mark. And I don't know. I think I just like that overall story, and I think I like his supporting characters better than I like Cloud's supporting characters. I think he meshes with everyone better than Cloud does. Because Cloud's just, oh, I'm so sad. I'm pretending to be Zack. Oh, my girlfriend died. Oh, Tifa is like thirsting for me, but I'm too sad for Aerith. Oh. Whereas Cecil, you're like, no, Cecil and Rose are gonna end up together. I just know it. The whole way through.
Okay. Factoring this in as I'm sorting out my feelings.
My Final Fantasy hot take, and this is a big hot take amongst the fans. I think the Final Fantasy 15 party is better than the 7 party.
Whoa, now
Ooh.
that take is Surface of the Sun hot.
At the end of the game, when
men.
they're around the campfire and Noctis tells all of his friends, like right before they're essentially going to die, you guys are just the best. To me, that is better than anything that happens between Cloud and his buddies.
Now you got me wanting to play 15. I played like an hour of it, and I was like, oh, cool, I have a car.
Listen, I gotta be honest. I finished 15 and it's way better than people give it credit for.
15,
I think the second half
15 is one of the best stories about a healthy male friendship that you're ever going to get.
The second
this
half of the
climate
game
especially.
really got me. Yeah, move.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack this and turn it into a Final Fantasy podcast. There are too many of those already.
You're good. You've both got hot take. You've both got multiple hot takes. I haven't
Yeah.
had one yet. I'm Final Fantasy 8 guy through and through. The card game's the best. I like that your school that you're in becomes your airship eventually. I like the twist, even though it's like the most Shyamalan ass shit I've ever seen. We were all at the same orphanage. What?
Eight's the
Gunblade is just really fucking cool.
Eight's the
I
one with
like the
Squall,
magic
right?
system. Yeah, Squall.
Yeah.
He's also another emo sad boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went through
Final Fantasy's got a lot of those.
Yeah, they went through a phase there.
Square Enix was so mad at their parents around the time they were doing those ones.
Seven's
Yeah.
full of
Mom did.
emos. 8 is emo. 13 is emo girl.
10's emo. Titus is kind of emo whiny.
Titus isn't really emo. He's I don't know. I wouldn't say he's emo. He's kind of I don't know. I don't want to say he's a jock either, but he's technically a jock. I wouldn't say he's emo. He's not all downtrodden like an emo, like oh my life.
Yeah.
He's
He's
like
also
oh,
not real.
he's like oh my father, he's a whale monster.
Daddy, no, he's got daddy.
Yeah, he's got daddy issues.
Yeah, and that is different than emo.
Yeah. Well, that is it for the show, ladies and gentlemen. Please give us a review. We're not going to tell you what kind of review because that's up for you to decide. But just leave one.
Do it. Why
Yeah.
not?
I'm not. Yeah, 1 star, 4 stars, 5 stars, 2 stars. I don't care. Just leave a review. It helps us. And follow us at Stand and Watch. You can follow me and Nick as well, but we're not going to give you that information. You got to find that for yourself. Do some work.
On the link tree.
Yeah.
Just click around, you'll find it.
Yeah, don't be lazy. Don't be lazy.
Don't be lazy.
And yeah, that's going to do it. And as always, whatever you do, don't tell your mother.